Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those who stayed with me over the last month and a half, thank you so much for sticking with me. As some of you know, my husband and I moved internationally and sold everything we had, donated most of it, but we're happy to be in a place where we feel safe, and we hope you feel safe too. So that said, I want to get into the astrology for January of 2025 because we have a lot of things up in the air right now, both globally and in the United States, which we just left. So let's go into some of the major things that we're going to be dealing with during the month of January. Now, first off, we're going to be dealing with the Mars and Jupiter retrograde. And the individual effects of this are Mars really wants you to revisit your actions, your decisions, and your motivations, because Mars is our inner warrior. He rules our Manipura, our core. So while it may feel like you're moving backward during the month of January, this period can really help you refine your strategies and address any unresolved conflicts. So it's a good time for planning. And if you're feeling a little anxious, sitting down with friends and family and strategizing is definitely something that I'd recommend doing. Jupiter is also retrograde. That's going over my ascendant, which has made me very happy. And that will really deepen your introspection and about your beliefs, your growth, any long-term goals that you're planning to make. There's a lot of spiritual clarity that comes with Jupiter in Taurus. So he can also delay a lot of external opportunities in lieu of tapping in, meditation, guides, etc., before making that jump. So those are some of the individual effects that you can expect from that transit. The collective effects. Now, globally, there's going to be some disruptions in leadership. We're already seeing them. Disruptions in decision-making and some growth-oriented initiatives. There will be delays in education, finance, and legal matters could also arise with this. So there are a few remedies that I put together for you all. And one of them is to Jupiter. And I have this lovely book. And it's Hindu Gods and Goddesses by Swami Harshananda. And here's Brihaspati, also known as Jupiter, right here. I love this photo of him. He's so adorable. Okay, and I'll go ahead and give you a mantra for him. Om Guruve Namaha. And that's best done on Thursdays. And you can do it 108 times via a mala. And then there's another mantra you can do for Mars, because he's also retrograde. And here he is here. There is the spear. We call it a shula in Sanskrit. And that's Om Kujaya Namaha. And that's best done on Tuesdays. So you can also wear yellow sapphire or citrine for Jupiter, or red coral or carnelian for Mars, if you're really into gemstones and crystals and love their energy. Energizing scents like cedarwood for Mars and sandalwood for Jupiter can also prove helpful if you're into scents. Now, we have another big event coming up on January 2nd, and that is Rahu, which is the North Node, will be aspecting Mars. And Rahu, whenever he gets next to a planet, he intensifies and expands the energy. And when Mars and Rahu are together, now they're just aspecting each other now, but when they're together, it's like he makes it much bigger, much more ambitious. Okay, it forms kind of an Anagaraka yoga. Elon Musk has it in his chart. So this can lead to heightened impulsiveness, unexpected challenges. This aspect can bring innovative solutions and sudden conflicts as well, because Rahu will be in Pisces and Mars is in Cancer. So there's a very watery energy attached to this. Some remedies that I would recommend. Hanuman is excellent. He's my favorite guy, and he's right here. And you can chant his mantra, Om Hum Hanumataye Namaha. And you can do that on Tuesdays for the Martian energy, or you can do it on Saturdays for Rahu's energy, or both. It helps to do that. Some grounding stones like tiger's eye or smoky quartz can also prove helpful. And burning calming incense like frankincense can reduce any of the restlessness that you might be feeling, especially emotionally, because this is a very watery feeling emotional feeling. And then another thing we have going on is Lord Shani, and I'll show you him in here. I just love this little book that I got. I think it's so cute. Here he is on his crook. There's Lord Shani. He's also known as Saturn, and he's going to be debilitated in the Navamsa. And when Saturn is weak, it can manifest as a lack of focus, or you can feel really burdened by your responsibilities during this time. So this period calls for a lot of patience, a lot of humility. And so one of the best mantras for Shani is his Bij mantra, which is a seed mantra. And this can be recited on Saturn days or Saturday. And it's Om Pram Prim Pram Sa Shanishwaraya Namaha. And again, you can do that via a mala 108 times. They're everywhere on eBay. They're fabulous. They're like rosaries if you're not familiar with them. You can also donate black sesame seeds or mustard oil to the needy. I like going to Costco and washing the peanuts in my colander, putting them in little bags. And when I go on walks, I feed the crows. And that's a really fun way to appease Shani as well. You could also wear blue sapphire or amethyst to strengthen Saturn's influence if you're feeling a little and you really have a lot of things to get done. So another thing that we have coming up is Rahu and Ketu are in Pushkara Navamsa. Now, Pushkara adds a spiritual undertone to these energies. It's a very healing feeling. And Rahu's placement in Virgo can amplify our analytical thinking, and it can also risk an overthinking though. So be aware of that, especially if you have a lot of placements in Virgo, and you know what I'm talking about if you're an overthinker. Now, Ketu in Pisces, that's really going to enhance your intuition, but it can lead to some escapism. And this Pushkara Navamsa adds a spiritual undertone for all of these. Now, some remedies for both Rahu and Ketu is you can meditate on clear quartz to enhance Rahu and Ketu's more benefic energies. Aromas like vetiver for Rahu or sandalwood for Ketu can also prove helpful. All right, so let's get into some key dates and events. So on January 3rd, Mercury is going to enter Sagittarius after a brief Gandanta. What's a Gandanta? A Gandanta is a spiritual knot. Spiritual knots are between water and fire signs, and this can cause miscommunications, things like that. It's kind of like a little mini retrograde. And Mars retrograde is also going to be aspecting Venus on January 3rd as well. So this urges a resolution of past misunderstandings, and then Mars's aspect on Venus will heighten emotional tension in our relationships, but it can also spark creativity. So it's good to be careful with our relationships, making sure that we practice active listening. One of the best ways to do that is you say something to your friend or your loved one or someone that you're working with, and then you ask them to repeat it back to you to make sure that there weren't any misunderstandings. Some remedies or things that you can do to kind of mitigate these misunderstandings that take place on the 3rd are a mantra from Mercury, and that's Om Buddhaya Namaha. And you can do that ahead of time. The best time to chant Mercury's mantra via mala is on Wednesdays or miércoles, Mercury Day. You can also use green aventurine or emerald for communication. And then on January 10th through the 13th, Sun and Venus are both Gotama. That makes them very strong. That means that they're in the same sign as the Rashi, the main chart in the sky, and the Navamsa, which is our Dharmic chart, which is 9 divisions deep. And we also have a full moon in Gemini, Punavarsu, on that day. So this period is going to highlight a lot of clarity, a lot of creativity. Where that full moon at 29 degrees in Gemini is going to emphasize our communication and also invite some emotional release. Now, Venus is going to be furthest for the Sun, and that's going to add like an independent streak to our thinking about our relationships. Now, some remedies that you can use for these energies are you can light a ghee lamp, which is clarified butter, for the Sun while chanting his mantra, and that's best done on Sundays. Om Suryaye Namaha. And you can also wear moonstone during the full moon for emotional balance, or pearls. I really love pearls. Now, on January 19th, we have a Venus-Saturn conjunction, and I'm really looking forward to this because I'm in Saturn-Venus right now. Those are the active planets in my chart, so I'm following them very closely. And this aspect in Aquarius blends love and discipline, but it pushes you to reevaluate your relationships and finances from a very practical level, which I think is good advice for all of us, especially if you're in America right now. So this energy might feel a little heavy, but it's inviting a lot of practicality in your life. So take advantage of that. Now, some remedies are you can chant Shukra's mantra, that is Venus, and it's Om Shukraya Namaha. And that is best done on Fridays. And you can also use rose quartz for harmony or black onyx for grounding. And on January 28th, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So look where Venus is in your chart, and you can see where you can get that extra, oh, he's my ascendant lord. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, Venus's exaltation, it enhances love, compassion, and creative pursuits. It's also a really ideal time for romance and art and your spiritual practices because Shukra is guru to the demons. Demons are not like pointy little headed creatures. It's just basically things that we're struggling with that are on the earth realm that involve the material. So you can meditate on with amethyst or aquamarine for emotional clarity. And Venus or Shukra loves floral scents like rose or jasmine, and those can uplift your mood a little bit on those days. And then on January 29th to 30th, depending on where you are, we have a new moon. And on that day, Jupiter is also aspecting the sun or Lord Surya. So this new moon in Capricorn will focus on new beginnings of career, structure. Jupiter's aspect on the sun will strengthen optimism and leadership qualities. So you'll have a little bit better idea of what your standing is toward the end of the month than when you do at the beginning. Now, some remedies that you can do for this moon is you can offer water to the sun while chanting his Bij or seed mantra, and that is Om Pram Hrim Pram Sat Soyaye Namaha. And you can also write intentions under this new moon for manifesting your goals. Now let's get into some holistic remedies for January 2025. Gemstones and crystals. If you're having difficult with Mars, that's that Manipura warrior energy. Either you're just not feeling motivated, you can go to red coral or carnelian. They boost your courage. Jupiter, if you're feeling the need for guidance, especially from your heavenly and ancestral guides. Yellow sapphire and citrine can bring down that beautiful wisdom. If you're dealing with a lot of responsibility issues, Saturn is involved with that. So blue sapphire or amethyst can help you with discipline. And then if you're dealing with love, romance, creative misunderstandings, things like that, rose quartz or moonstone is great for love and creativity for Shukra or Venus. So if you're into aromatherapy, you can energize with ginger or black pepper. That's good for Mars. If you're looking for a more soothing energy, you can use sandalwood or lavender, and that's really good for connecting with your guides. That's for Jupiter or Brihaspati. And if you're looking to ground yourself, patchouli is really great for Saturn, especially if you're trying to make those practical goals moving forward into this next year, because we have a lot of stuff coming our way. So some herbal remedies, if you're into your herbal remedies, are ashwagandha is excellent for Mars. I put it into little oat cakes in the morning, and it's great. You can enhance clarity with Brahmi or turmeric, and that is for Jupiter. It's great for connecting with the guides. And then if you need to relax under Shani's discipline and just energy, chamomile tea at night is fabulous. So one of the best things you can do is just meditate daily. That can help balance Rahu and Ketu's fluctuating energies. And I find that Goddess Durga, in addition to Lord Ganesha, are excellent deities for that. Rahu's pratyadi, or spiritual precept, is Goddess Durga. And her mantra is follows. Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. And she is a fierce and beautiful goddess, and she can really help you with some of those lower energies and anxieties that you might be feeling throughout the month. And a great mantra for Ketu is to Lord Ganesha. He is the Pratyadi Devata, or the spiritual preceptor for Ketu. And that's Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And things that you can also do are you can perform your Surya Namaskar. I do that every morning. They're called the sun salutations. Just get those creaks and out. There's also a few other asanas that you're welcome to do as well if you're feeling a little tight in certain areas, especially as you wake up in the morning. And other things you can do is you can donate food or clothing to those in need, especially on Saturn days or Saturdays for Saturn. My husband and I just donated almost everything we had, and so we're hoping that Shani is very happy with us. You can also offer yellow items if you're looking to boost Jupiter and connect with your guides. That can be bananas. I do that in the morning, especially on Thursdays for Brihaspati. Turmeric is also really great to incorporate into your diet for Lord Jupiter. But just know that January is a month of reflection, and transformation, growth. We have a lot of things coming our way, and it's really important that we do our remedies so that we can be calm and navigate these challenges and see them as opportunities for our soul's growth. So with the retrogrades, the special planetary aspects, this period is really inviting you to pause, recalibrate, and align with your higher purpose. By embracing these remedies, you can harmonize with these energies and turn those potential challenges into those opportunities for growth. So I hope that you can take some conscious actions, some spiritual practices, and that you can navigate these celestial shifts gracefully and emerge stronger and more aligned with your path. And know that throughout the month, I'm here. You're always welcome to schedule a session and find out what is going on specifically in your chart, because I know that everyone has their own individual path. I'm also offering astrocartography if you're looking to move out of the United States or North America in general. And I also have some specials, New Year specials on my site as well, 50% off. So I hope you can take advantage of that. So I'm sending you all love as you navigate these challenges and see them as opportunities, and know that I'm right here with you and that you're never alone. I'm sending you all love. Take care, everyone.